Hi, I'm Amber. I'm a professional musician. I've been playing instruments since I was 3, also singing, of course. My goal in life is to have an entertainment agency that will revolutionize the way that music and entertainment is perceived and received throughout the world. My goal is to have a holistic approach where musicians are more than just celebrities. They actually are role models. They are people who are real and that you can just be like them if you try hard enough. My own career is laying the foundation, and I'm building a blueprint for future artists with that. Now, just because I've been a musician since I was a young kid does not mean that my life has not been filled with a whole bunch of like twists and turns. When I was in high school, I was in a charter school that had where I was able to win the opportunity to have an early acceptance into Stanford Medical School. So at 14, I was well on my way to being a neurosurgeon because that's what I wanted to be. So I worked hard during the day. I had a 4.0, but at night I snuck out and I'd hang out with my friends and we'd go and we'd perform. We were a band. We'd perform in any place and every place that let us, and some places that didn't. Uh, it was probably the most that I felt alive at that time. And time, a little bit of time passed, and I realized that I had to pursue music, that it was the only path to happiness for me. And so I did. I graduated and I decided to pursue music at a university level, and then now here I am. Green strategies for finding our life's tasks were pretty fascinating, and one in particular, or maybe a combination, really resonated with me, but I'll talk about that one lastly. While reading Return to My Origins, I kept thinking about the first time I touched an instrument and how it just like it ran all the way through here straight into my heart and soul, and how it completely changed the way that I live my life. What Green reminded me of was being able to go back to this, to be able to like remember this in times where I don't feel so hot about it. When he was talking about avoiding the foul's path, I thought about a time when I took a break from school because I wasn't really sure what I was doing, and I ended up with all these part-time jobs, but one in particular, Borders. I just like flew through that in less than a year. I was, and thankfully with a chance encounter with the CEO, I managed to become the company's youngest general manager in the history of the company, as well as the only one who had ever managed a flagship store back home in San Francisco. I was good at what I did. I made a ton of money. I had experience. I oversaw a ton of people. I was young and full of life, and well, younger than everybody else there too. But it wasn't really what I really wanted to do. At night, I still kept thinking back to that moment when I touched that A and it vibrated deep into my soul. And so I realized that I had to go back to music, and I realized that it doesn't matter if you're good at something. Just because you're good at it doesn't mean that you should be doing it. Stick back, return to your origins, and always remember what it is that you want to be, and what you want to do. That's what I got from this section. Now, letting go of the past was really interesting to me because I don't hold myself to the same standards as everybody else does. I don't listen to what my parents had to say or what family had to say. They're really not involved. But I do have a problem of not letting go of my own expectations. I'm incredibly ambitious, and sometimes I forget that you have to allow life and things to happen. That if you try to force them too much, that nothing ends up happening. To be quite honest with you, and that I have to let go. And then finding our way back was incredibly amazing to me because I have had like all these little part-time jobs here and there or full-time jobs, and I've been good at them, but they have all given me these tools that have helped me build up to where I am today. The idea that struck the most with me was finding my niche. I am biracial. I'm Japanese and Spanish, and I hate being unique. I hated being strange. I hated all these things. And here's Green telling me that it's okay. In fact, he says that on page 34 that you need to find a niche that's not crowded with competitors so you can kind of follow your own path. And that's exactly what I've done. That's what I've had to do. And it's just refreshing. It makes me feel so powerful. And then on page 41, where he talks about Buckminster Fuller, who says that he heard an outside voice that said, you can't eliminate yourself. Well, that's something that I need to hear on a pretty consistent basis, because it's hard to be like, well, I'm just not good enough. Well, nobody is, right? And he went and shook up things, and Green talks about it on page 42, and that's exactly what I want to do. So these are just reminders of that it's possible to do these things because other people have done it, and because even if they haven't, I will do it. Now, when I look into my future self, I see myself as the head of an organization that completely revolutionizes the world, that changes it. I see people that I've helped live their lives, and it's just a legacy left behind. Two goals I have for the next 3 weeks are writing a new beat every day for 21 days and also networking every weekend out so that I can start making a name for myself. Gotta hustle until I don't have to introduce myself. Thank you.